We're live. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're around the world. Thank you so much for coming to join me on this Friday night, the last Friday before Christmas. And I thought I would change things up and I would wear my fantastical Christmas shirt that I was able to procure, which is literally like Homer in the shed, in the shrub with the baubles. We had a ugly Christmas shirt theme to a Christmas party that I went to. And I found this shirt and I was like, I don't know if it's ugly. I personally think it's super cool. And I bought it. And people who really knew me thought it was hilarious because I am very much known for my love of this gift. So I thought I would maybe do away with the dark colors that I normally wear. And I'd bring a little bit of festive cheer to the stream this week. So I hope you're all doing well. It's been a pretty big week. We've had some Hot Toys releases. We've had J&D release of their Dark Knight Bruce Wayne with the Armory. We also had InArt show their unboxing video of the Thorin figure, which often means a release is imminent. So we've got a little bit of representation from a few brands this week, which is nice. And then Howie Claus, you know, he loves you and he wants you to be happy. Dropped the Artisan Iron Spider today. So I'm quite keen to chat to you guys about that and see what you think. Thought it was quite interesting that they posted the Artisan pictures, but not any pictures of the sculpted figure. Typically when there's been a sculpted release alongside of an Artisan, we've seen a combined batch. Oh my God, I'm already losing my words. It's going to be a long night, kids. We've seen a combined batch of blogger photos, which combine the two. So I'm not really sure what's happening with that sculpted version. So I guess only time will tell. There's already quite a few comments waiting for me in the chat, which is always lovely. Appreciate everyone who comes to hang out live or watches the replay. As I said, I feel like time is one of the most valuable things we have. So I always appreciate you guys spending a bit of time with me. I couldn't do this stream without audience participation. And always first up in the comments is Carlos, my hype man. Pretty sure Carlos has been with this stream since day one, which I really do appreciate. Carlos says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Helen and chat. Sending my usual salutations from a New Jersey that received 3 inches of snow this past Sunday. So I woke to see Hot Toys has given us a Artisan Spider-Man. Look, I love all types of Spider-Man, but Artisan version is a definite no for me. What say you, Helen? Look, I like the Iron Spider. I really like that design. It's probably the most tempting figure to me, but I don't know where I'd put it. Like, my space is at capacity, so I don't want to buy figures I don't know where I'm going to display. So I appreciate it, but I don't think it's coming home to me. Also, X-23 looks amazing, 100%. Also, what are your thoughts on the impending Netflix buyout of WB, as well as the recent snippets of Zack Snyder hinting at the return of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck? Goodness, I mean, is that deal going to go through? It sounds like there's a bit of, as we'd say in Australia, argy-bargy about all that. I think I said this in a previous stream because I think it came up right at the end of the stream. I want nothing more than DC to just put out really great content. And given we've started a new chapter, to then, I don't know, push what we're doing to the side to bring back the old cast. Is that the best thing? I don't know. I did like Henry as Superman. I think I've said a few times, and I know people probably won't like this opinion. Wasn't the biggest lover of the Ben Affleck Batman. I actually have been really pleasantly surprised by how much I've liked Robert Pattinson at Batman, and I love that whole world they've built out with the Penguin TV series. So that's the kind of stuff I'm kind of hoping will continue, but I don't know. DC's been a mess. And then if this happens, I'm just going, is that going to be a point too far for people? I don't know. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that deal. But anyway, Carlos says, I look forward to watching the replay later after work. Let's all chat. Hit the like button and subscribe, including those of you who secretly watch. Oh my God, so many people secretly watch. It's interesting. Let's bring our dear friend Helen. Let's help our dear friend Helen hit 4K. I mean, I think I'm only 25 subs away, which is crazy to me. But it is I always say it's quite interesting when the channel memberships get gifted, because quite often they are people that I don't know the names. Like, they're not really people who participate. So I find it interesting that a lot of people watch and then don't really say anything. So I don't know if that's just they're at work or what it is. But I mean, I like to think this is a pretty open forum and that I'm pretty open to people's point of views, even when they differ to mine. So, I mean, if you're around, like, say hello. Also love to know where people are watching from. I always think that's super cool to know. But yeah, I mean, 25 subs to go till 4K. I'd love to get there before the end of the year. So fingers crossed, that would be amazing. Oh, Benny, that's so kind. I got my mom to sub on Helen. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Benny also says, I hope Helen will talk about Magna Guard on Star Wars in 60 seconds. Look, I had Magna Guard in the slides. I had him out of the slides. And then last minute, I was like, no, 60 seconds. You can give Star Wars 60 seconds. And we've not had the usual plethora of Star Wars. So he's back in. I have no idea what I'm going to say about the Magna Guard. Who knows what will come out of my mouth? Sometimes I have no idea what I say on these streams. Toy Collectors here says, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. Toy Collector will be watching while opening my first Trick or Treat Studios Halloween figure. Oh, that's cool. I hope it's a good one. We've got Paul here. Hello, everyone. Hello to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. I see YouTube still doing the handles, which, yeah, I think we've already said I'm not a fan of. We've got Moose Dream here. Hello, community of collectors. Happy holidays. Deluxe and Brown Suit Hugh Jackman and Wednesday received. Picking up Battle Damage T800 tomorrow. Well, that sounds like a good time. You've got some absolutely cracking figures in there. So not jealous at all, because I've got no idea what the next thing that's going to actually make it. Or to me, I think it's probably going to be Batman Returns, and I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So little bit of a dry spell with the arrivals for poor old Helen. Laura's here. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. That shirt, haha, amazing, isn't it? It was only $20. It was so funny because, like, it's a interesting fabric. It's actually super light and very cool, which was nice because it was like 100 degrees when we had this Christmas party. And I was asking my mum, I was like, how do I iron this fabric? And she looked at this shirt and she was like, what is this? And I was like, it's for a Christmas party. Don't worry. She was a little bit concerned that I was like going to be wearing this to work every day. But honestly, I feel like it's a collared shirt. Maybe I could wear it to work. People love the shirt. Cute shirt. 100%. It's the best shirt. I wish there was a little mini version I could get for Shuri. That would be super cute. Hi, Helen. Nice, Chrissy Duds. Thanks, Anthony. As I said, I was happy because I literally, the first store I walked into looking for this ugly Christmas shirt, I was going through this rack and I saw the like hedge and I was like going, if that is Homer in a hedge, like sold, and then the fact it had the Christmas baubles, like this is an amazing garment. I feel like this could become my like forever Christmas shirt. We've got Kyle here. Hello, as usual. I will not be able to watch live, but I'll continue on the replay. Appreciate you, Kyle. I hope you have a great day. Laura says, I'm in New Jersey too. Sadly, all the snow has been rained away. Oh, what a shame. I just saw that the forecast for Christmas here in Perth is 40 degrees Celsius, which is 100 and something degrees. I'm not looking forward to that. But, yeah, some snow and rain sounds wonderful. I wish. Laura, why did I think you were in the UK? I have no idea why I thought that. Maybe I'm confusing you with someone else. Apologies. Valkyrie's here. Good morning, Helen. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Toy Collector, I'm there with you. Prefer Robert Batman over Ben's version. Yeah, I was... When they cast him, and I had to be a bit like, no, you hated the Anne Hathaway casting at first. I was like, oh, really? The Twilight guy? But I went in and tried to be open-minded, and I really, really enjoyed that. So I just hope they don't do away with that world because I really liked the Batman and then what they did with the Penguin, and I want to see more of I was going to say Sophia Falcone, but Sophia Gigante, I think her name then becomes. I'm so interested in that world. Mike Bayless here. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone has their Christmas shopping done. I know I did for myself, that is. Goodness. Deluxe Wolverine and Wolfpack Trooper arrived this week. Oh, that's cool. Wolverine's cool, at least. The Trooper sounds like orange chocolate, personally. JB's here. Afternoon, Helen and fellow collectors. Hello to you, JB. We've got Rens. Hello, Rens. Good evening, Helen and chat. Good evening to you, Rens. Hello. Blue Bear. I think that's a new name. If not, apologies. Hi, Helen. What are your thoughts on the Batman Returns 2.0? I saw a few folks saying the suit easily gets damaged when bending the figure. Not sure if I should hold off to see if they fix this. Yeah, I've seen. It's funny. I saw on there's a Facebook group which is like a Batman 89 to 97 collectibles group. So it's not just Hot Toys. It's a bit broader in scope. And I did see some people commenting that they think the 1.0 is far more superior and all this stuff. And I can only comment on my experience so far, which was I got to see that figure at Secret Base. It released when I was in Hong Kong last month. And looks-wise, I thought it was fantastic. I thought the Keaton head sculpt was a 10 out of 10. I love that diorama base. I love how it's modular. I thought the suit looked really nice. The cape is one of those things where until you get it in hand, hard to comment on. I aesthetically thought it looked really nice. I have not handled that figure to know how the suit feels. I did see a couple of people in reviews make comments that they felt that the suit damaged really easily. I'm personally the kind of person who, with a figure like a Keaton Batman, probably not going to pose it an awful lot because I do worry about the joints becoming weak over time. People did kind of comment that I don't think the elbows were like a hard ratchet. So I just feel like it's going to get to the point where with like the DX9, the suit's just going to fight the body. So yeah, as I said, I don't have the original. So for me, getting that 2.0 was like a must. It's a bit of a gap in my collection. So I guess it just depends. Like if you're wanting to pose it, like I can totally appreciate that's not an ideal situation, but I aesthetically think it looks great. And I was quite surprised that people were saying it didn't look as good, like the 2.0 didn't look as good as the 1.0, because in the photos I saw putting side by side, I definitely thought the suit had a bit more definition in some of the line work than the 1.0, which I think is something that comes with the newer figure. So yeah, I don't know. I was really surprised to see this negative sentiment because, as I said, for me, I thought it looked fantastic and I can't wait to get it. So if anybody has it in hand, let us know what you think. I don't think I know anyone that actually has that figure as yet. It's going to be, I would be shocked if I get that before February next year. I mean, I don't think people in the US are even getting it, so it might even be later. But as I said, I saw the figure in person and I was really impressed with how it looked. So how it is in hand, I don't know at this point. I think this is Gilbert. Hi, Helen. Greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings to you, Gilbert. I hope you're doing well. Oh, Ren's not just me. I also thought Laura was from Europe. I know. So did I. So did I. Unless I'm totally wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. Winman's here. Greetings to everyone on this Friday. I hope you're doing well, Winman. Lovely to see you in the chat. I just bought my hubby another Xmas present, another Voltron figure. Oh, that's very cool. AJ's here as well. Greetings, Helen and friends. Hope all is well. I'm good, AJ. Hope you are too. Mike says, Helen, no need to be salty. The Wolfpack Trooper is still available. You didn't miss out. Put your PO in. Orange Chocolate Life. It's so funny. In my work team, like I'm pretty lucky that like I work with some pretty nice people, and we all exchange little gifts at Christmas time. And our graphic designer, who sadly left, she actually designed my channel logo, like which I absolutely love. She would always give people Terry's orange chocolate. I don't know if that's a thing in the US, but I think people in the UK would know it. But she knew I didn't like orange chocolate, so she would give me. I didn't know they did a mint chocolate, so she would give me a mint chocolate. And as I said, she sadly changed jobs this year, and then someone else in our team took up the mantle of buying everyone the Terry's orange chocolate. But again, knowing I didn't like orange chocolate got me a milk chocolate version. So I just laugh that it's just this known thing that Helen does not want to subscribe to the orange chocolate. And who knew Terry's did all these line extensions of orange-shaped chocolates. Snack talk with Helen. It's always a thing. King Dingling is here. Hello all. Just ate half of a caramel Tim Tam package with coffee. Oh my goodness. Did you slam any of those Tim Tams? Because I do think the caramel Tim Tams are the best for a Tim Tam slam. They're so good. They're so good. I just love a Tim Tam. What can I say? They're so good. Raymond's here as well. Hey, Helen, good afternoon. Just an hour of work left, then 2 weeks vacation. Oh, lucky you, Raymond. I am very jealous of people who are getting holidays from now. I'm working up until Christmas Eve, but I then get off till the 5th of January, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I hope you have a lovely break. Oh, Laura says, okay, for reasons that is a bit involved to get into here. My husband would think it's hysterical that you all think I'm from the UK. Short version, he thinks I'm secretly British. Oh, okay. She's a Jersey girl. Fair enough. Fair enough. As I said, I don't know why I thought you were in the UK, but apparently I'm not alone. So there you go. Mike says, I love that your co-workers have great taste, Helen. No, they have great taste in like knowing not to get me orange chocolate. Their consumption of orange chocolate is their business. I will have no part of it whatsoever. Goodness, there was so much newsy news this week. I feel like this could be a long one. So bear with me, folks. I'm going to do my best not to lose my words. But as always, I like to start the stream by thanking my channel members. And I know Bob went on a gifting spree last stream, but I am just listing my paid members. So if someone is paid and not on this list, please let me know, because I'm always mortified that I'm going to miss someone's name, which I don't want to do. So a huge thank you to The Broke Collector, AJ Agrusa, Pop Culture Living Room, Kevin LaFranc, Aaron Broverman, Tijuana Mike, Keith Lee, Valkyrie Magnus, Miss Batwoman, Bobby Dillon, the Bob Father himself, and Blue Tattoo. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Raymond says, we'll finally get my Mars Toys Two-Face in before the new year. Oh, that's cool. And hopefully the ankle extenders that I feel like I semi-influenced you into buying also arrive in time to. It's always nice when you have the bit you need to mod a figure. So I hope that arrives. But yeah, that Two-Face is awesome. It was probably a figure that was much better than I expected it to be. And next week, which will be the last stream for the year, I want to do what I did last year and rank all my figure purchases, which is going to be like tricky because I didn't get a huge number of figures, but I feel like I got some really good ones. So where that Two-Face lands, I don't know. I feel like it might be quite high up on the list. The ankle pegs are on the way as well. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So, guys, you know the drill. We warn people not to buy from One Man's Hobby Satch William Wang because the guy's been AWOL for pretty much all of 2025. He still has a website up and running, which annoys me no end. So I'm just once again spreading the word to people that this is not a place or a person to buy from anymore. So until that website's down, I'm going to keep reminding people about this just not ending well for you. If you put in a pre-order, and if you have recently put in a pre-order, please start a chargeback because I guarantee you are never hearing from him, getting that figure. It's just never going to happen. People have lost significant amounts of money because this guy has literally fled Australia and no one knows where he is. He's not communicating. He's never coming back. One man's Wang. I mean, one man's scam, really. AJ, I saw someone ask about One Man's Hobby again yesterday. And this is what gets me, AJ. Like, I feel like at least every couple of weeks it gets brought up. which just adds to I know I don't have the biggest channel out there, but I'm like, some weeks I get big spikes in viewers and I'm like, okay, if that's people that are new to my channel, I want this to be in there in case they're not aware of this situation. Anyway, let's move on. The less said about William Wang, the better. But as I said, we'll just keep this PSA in. Guys, I'm not going to harp on about this, but did anybody see the Hot Toys 2025 Wrapped post? Because, bless them, they've been doing a little bit of different content. I'm all for that. Like Howie Claus, get your social media people. You can do more than just announcements and releases. Like there's other content you can do. So I was happy to see this, but also a little bit perplexed that the top 10 collectibles of 2025 also includes figures that have not released. How does that work? Like, we don't have the Bank Robber Joker. We don't have the Death Stranding figure. Galactus is not out. And Dec and Thea are not out. So unless this is a spoiler that Hot Toys, they're going to sneakily release these before the end of the year, because, like, why are they here? I don't understand. Howie. Please explain that. It just seemed very bizarre to me that you would have these top collectibles and they're things that no one physically owns, even if they're in Hong Kong. I don't understand. Raymond says, yeah, it was like, okay, we're done for the year. And then the next day we get a new announcement and a release. Well, that was the thing. Like, people took this post as a sign of, oh, we're not getting anything else from Hot Toys. Like, is that it? And I was a bit like that as well. It's so funny. I was saying to cousin Anthony today, I was like, oh, I hope Howie Claus makes one more announcement this week, because, you know, it'll be good for the stream to have a bit more newsy news. And then the Artisan Spider came out, and that's why I was like going, if we weren't getting anything before the end of the year, I have to think surely they're going to push a bunch of things out the door before Chinese New Year. So I don't know. It really, really surprised me, because it did sound because they had that video of like the 25 years of Hot Toys and the Wrapped, and it did feel like, okay, we're putting a bow on 2025, but then no, they're not. So I don't know. Howie Claus is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Mike says, I did see this Wrap post and thought it was interesting. Yeah, I think we all thought it was interesting. I don't know. I think there's a whole bunch of comments that are not for me, so I'm not going to read them. I didn't buy this for a minute. Hot Toys announced that Mark II Iron Man on New Year's Eve. Was it last year? They often do. They often do things. And even, I want to say that I feel like even during Chinese New Year, something dropped. Like, we thought we were going to get nothing. And I still feel like early on, or like sooner than Chinese New Year ended, they did release something. I can't work out that Howard Chan, but, you know, love his collectibles. But yeah, as I said, I just wanted to bring this up because I just thought it was hilarious that we're talking about the top collectibles of the year, and stuff that's not coming out this year is on that list. So make that make sense. I cannot. But we will talk about the top collectibles of the year in next week's stream. So be sure to join me next Friday for that. The Magna Guard. Star Wars in 60 seconds. Everybody's favorite Star Wars commentary segment of all Hot Toys YouTubers, according to a survey of me and Shuri, who can't actually talk. But I assume when I asked her, Shuri, am I your favorite Star Wars commentator? And she walked off. I took that as, don't be ridiculous. Of course you are. Why are you even asking me this question? So that's how I'm going to take it. What do? We put a minute on the clock, which you can't really see because of where my ring light is. Because, yeah, my setup has not improved one bit. I'm quickly going to say this can be Star Wars in 2 seconds. Magna Guard skip. Oh, my God. Look, if we start doing Hot Toys in 2 seconds, it will never change from Hot Toys in 2 seconds. So I'm gonna stick to the 60-second format. As much as it pains me, like 60 seconds is so much easier to do when there's a bunch of things. When there's like one random dude that I don't know. I don't even know if it's a dude, some androgynous being. What am I going to say? I don't know. Mike says, don't get me wrong, I'm not upset by this post, but I don't know why they would post it if they're still releasing stuff for this year is all. No, I 100% agree, because it did make it sound like there's nothing else coming. So I totally get it. And here we go. Oh, my God, don't get too excited. Honestly, don't get too excited. Okay. A minute's going on the stop clock. I'm going to talk about this thing and have some water. I'm going to channel higher powers to help me get through this. Magna Guard in 60 seconds. Let's do it. So this is Hot Toys Star Wars announcement for the release. It's a Magna Guard. Do I know what this is? No, don't be silly. But I just want to make sure that no one confuses the Magna Guard for Magna Shield, which is a future-ready advanced coated steel product. So I don't want you to be building a house or an industrial building and use a Magna Guard instead of a Magna Shield, because you're just going to have a bad time. So I'm not interested in this, but I flicked through the photos and then I saw this picture. And I'm not going to lie, this photo triggered me, because I was like, I don't want this to be another Pam in the Office meme where it's the same picture. Because remember Fives and Echo and Wolf? I don't want this to be the same, where it's like, oh no, he's a clone. It's the blue version, it's the silver version, it's the pink version, it's the neon tech version. I don't have time for that. If this thing's a clone, I'm done. They look like a primary school gang that wants to steal your bike and run over your dad's lawn when he's really picky about his lawn. Star Wars in 60 seconds, yay. I think this Magna Guard is pretty cool, but unless my Grievous waitlist converts, I can't pick this up. By the way, the cloak look is the way to go. I want to say, because someone says, what movie is this from? I can't believe I think I know. Is this Revenge of the Sith? And I only feel like I know because I put it in the description of the stream. And if I'm wrong, don't at me, because the fact I even attempted to answer that question is like, look at me go. Practically a Star Wars expert at this stage. Toy Collector says, not going to lie, I had no clue what this figure was. Mind you, I was never a huge fan of this trilogy. Don't be silly. Is that directed at me? How dare you? I'm never silly when it comes to Star Wars. I'm just passionate about alternate forms of commentary about Star Wars. AJ says, I'm glad I'm passing on this guy because I feel like they will make another colored one that is a chase. This is what I don't want. I don't want this to be a 5 Echoes Wolf scenario where it's like the same dude with some minor difference. I have no time for that. I believe they show up in, I don't know what OTS is. I've got no idea. Is that Revenge of the Sith? Was I right? Miss Batwoman is here. Happy Friday and Merry Christmas to Helen, Shuri, and everyone. Well, hello and Merry Christmas, almost Christmas to you, Miss Batwoman. I don't know if Shuri's going to join us this week. Poor Shuri had a very rough week. My little furry monkey. She is not really herself. Sadly, she had to get a couple of teeth extracted. So they knocked her out and sent her home high as a kite. And she is having some feelings. So I don't know if she's going to come say hello because she's been a little bit funny. So yeah, pray for Shuri. Pray for Shuri's mouth and pray for Helen's wallet, because do you know what's not cheap? Getting teeth extracted in your cat. Happy days. Raymond says, it's like Power Rangers, we get all the colors. Are there multiple? Because can I be warned, if there's literally going to be multiple of this guy, can someone just brace me for the fact that I'm going to have to talk about the variants, the clones, whatever they are? Thanks, Helen. You're welcome. My gift to you, Benny. Merry Christmas. Helen, yes, I'm pretty sure you're right. That's what I think anyway. Well, I mean, I told you guys, practically a Star Wars expert. To be honest, I barely knew what that Magna Guard was. Okay, well, and you're a Star Wars collector, so I mean, how am I meant to know? How am I meant to know? Poor Shuri. I know, my little monkey. I thought she was just going to go in for a scale and clean, and then her X-rays showed that she had some problems with a couple of her teeth, and they had to take them out. So I was very worried about her, and she's very annoyed because her favorite food is biscuits. She can't eat biscuits right now. So she's looking very annoyed at me. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I can only give you soft foods. Your gums need to heal. Moose Dream says, I have Grievous on pre-order now. This converted on Sideshow. But I can wait on overpriced Magna Guard. Fair enough. Did the vet shave her neck for the IV to make her sleep? Well, no, that was the interesting thing because I thought they would have shaved like a bit of her leg or her neck, but her magnificent coat was intact. So I don't know how this vet did it because like my first cat I had, who was my beautiful little Black Panther Bowser, I lived in like a different area. So I took him to a different vet. I'm in a different area now, so I've been taking Shuri to a vet that's local to me. So I was really surprised that she didn't have, because I remember when when Bowser got his teeth cleaned, they would shave a little patch on his arm, but Shuri didn't have that. So I don't know what they did, but they did make her go to sleep, and then they gave her some pretty nice drugs for the pain, and then I've got some other medicine I have to give her for the next few days. So hopefully she'll be okay soon. I didn't even know there were two versions of this guy in the movie. Guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. Okay, so is this like one of these scenarios? And I'm not going to remember the name of the character, but I remember there was one Star Wars character that Hot Toys made a figure of. And I'm sure someone said, and this must have been the Collectors Unite days, I don't even think this character talks in the movie. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are we getting non-speaking Star Wars characters and not getting someone like Okoye? Is this guy like Blink and you miss him, but yet they're making an army of him in different colors? Because honestly, wishing a quick recovery to Shuri. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Benny, Raymond says, only seen a Revenge of the Sith twice, thought they were all great. Well, no. Apparently not. Dagito is here. Hello. Hi, Helen. Yeah, most of us were surprised that there was more than one color, but hopefully Hot Toys won't neon tech this. But Hot Toys going to Hot Toys. Look, if Hot Toys is going to neon tech anything Star Wars, it better be BB-8. And if it's not BB-8, I'm going to be annoyed because that's the only thing that should be neon teched in the Star Wars world. Please and thank you, Howard Chan. InArt. Let's move along because that was a lot more than 60 seconds of Star Wars. So InArt presented their unboxing video of the Thorin figure. I think it's from The Hobbit. I have seen these movies. Believe it or not, I've seen The Hobbit. I saw all 3 Hobbit movies in the cinema. And I'm not going to go into why that enraged me because that will be a 5-hour stream. Anyway, they did an unboxing video, no photos as yet, so apologies. These are screenshots from the InArt video, so I did my best to try to have some kind of visual so we could talk about this figure. So Thorin was released, and I think this figure looks really nice. Like these Lord of the Rings and Hobbit characters have quite detailed outfits with the coats and the different parts to them, and I thought visually, this looks really nice. Unfortunately, there was no great footage of the sculpt. The sculpt seemed to have a lot of like shadow and darkness on it, so I did my best. As I said, I do not remember a lot about watching this movie because I was enraged that I had to go 3 times to see this Hobbit story. But to me, I feel like the hair looks nice. There seems to be a nice amount of detail in the head sculpt, and the outfit looks really nice to me. Again, aesthetically, I think it looks nice. We did have this little part of the video where the sculpt was a little bit lighter. So we could see a little bit more of the detail there. I kind of wish that InArt would accompany these videos with some nice photos, because this is, otherwise people are just screen capping their video, which is not, I don't think, the best way to present this figure. But as I said, I looked at this and aesthetically I feel like this is another figure from this Hobbit / Lord of the Rings line that I think personally looks really nice. I know there's a lot of love for those books and the movies, so I can see this being a figure that people who are into this IP being really excited about. We got some comments. Let's see what people have to say. Mike says, I got to admit, this Thorin looks fantastic. Not for me, though. Still wondering if they're going to make companion pieces for him. Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? Because when they originally started talking about these lines, I'm pretty sure they said we're not making the full cast. We're not doing the full fellowship. And I think that was a real negative for some people. So, I mean, I would hope that they've changed their mind on that. I feel like in other streams I've seen them do, it feels like maybe they are going to go a little bit deeper than what they originally said. But I feel like, is it Gimli that I feel like when this was announced, a lot of people were like, where's Gimli? That should have been next. Why? I don't know. I just have very specific memories of Joao saying, where's Gimli? Give us Gimli. Gimli should have been next. So I hope for those people that want a Gimli that you get a Gimli at some point. I hope that's the right name. Toy Collector says this looks pretty incredible. Not a line for me, but they look great. 100% agree. The king look for him would be cool too. I can't remember that part of the movie, I'll be honest with you. That Thorin looks amazing. So glad I pre-ordered it. It's the only figure I need from The Hobbit. Will pair perfectly with Gandalf. I've got I found some more photos, not from InArt, but I found some photos of this figure and we'll look at them. Cousin Anthony is here. Happy holidays, everyone. Let's celebrate with a new story. Newsy News and Snack Time with Helen. Oh, cousin, we had Snack Chat. We had Star Wars in 60 seconds. We're doing the Newsy News now. And I'm wearing my Homer in the Hedge Christmas shirt, cousin. I thought I'd wear it for the last stream before Christmas. If only there was a Star Wars in 60 seconds filter to make your eyes glow red when you turn into Darth Allison. I mean, if this was a better production, I would have some kind of a contact lens to do that. But the thought of having to quickly put in contact lenses is a major put off. I think Renz is excited to see Cousin Anthony. Everyone should be excited to see Cousin Anthony. AJ says, this figure looks amazing to me, but yeah, I would prefer Gimli and I need to stick to the main Lord of the Rings figures. Okay, so I had the right name in mind. I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, as I said, as an observer, I thought this figure looked really nice. But as I was watching the video, there was one thing that stood out to me. And it was the tweezer cam footage. Once again, we have one of these InArt costumes where the tweezer's got to go through here and the tweezer's got to go through there. So this part of the suit and that part of the suit and then this part of the suit as well. And I'm watching them weave their little tweezers and this little strap in and out of all these little nooks and crannies. And I'm like, do you know what that looks like? That looks like increased chance of people damaging their figure. I still feel like there has to be a much more elegant solution to doing this, because I think it was with the Legolas figure as well, where there were all these straps and buckles that you had to and you're watching them weave it through with tweezers, which is fine when you work for a figure company and you do stuff like that every day. But the average collector, and this is probably a bit of a flashback, but I remember when the Endgame Nebula came out, and she had like this one little pouch for her gun that you had to hook onto her belt. The struggle people had with that. And then I'm watching these people weave the strap in and out, and I'm going, there has to be a more elegant solution. Like, can you not have some kind of press stud or magnet or something on the back of the outfit that it's just one piece and you put it around the figure and then it secures at the back? Because I'm 99% sure no one's buying this figure to have its back turned to them in their display. So why they can't do a better job of having these things without having to weave tweezers around? I almost put in the title of this stream, more InArt tweezer malarkey. But then I was worried all the fanboys would come and get outraged, and I really don't have time for that. But seriously, like, people had that feedback with the Batman figure, which had none of its belts and things attached to it. People said to them, we're not enjoying this. And yet they keep persisting with these setups where some assembly required. I don't think people want some assembly required when they're paying however much. I can only think in Australian dollars, like $700-800 for a figure. Catwoman's belt better be attached to her. Oh my God, I forgot to put the Catwoman update in this. Oh man, hang on. How could I forget? How could I forget, peeps? I'm absolutely failing you guys. Hang on. Let me see if I can find the post. There was just so much newsy news that I forgot. I've got it now, but Anthony agrees. I just can't with the tweezers. Me neither. I'm not even buying these figures. And I'm watching these videos with the tweezers, and with this guy, there was a big chunk of that video was, and then you tweeze it through this and you tweeze it through that, then bring it out the back, and there's a little thing on his shoulder. Don't forget to get the tweezers through there, and then this little pouch thing on his belt. I was like, I cannot. These things are going to break and get damaged. But also, are you supplying tweezers to people? Like, you're dropping $700-800. Are you giving me some tweezers to do this with? Because I can imagine some people just trying to force it through. And again, that just feels like a recipe for a bad time. Cousin Anthony's driving. Well, don't text and drive, please, cousin. But I'm glad you're here listening. Raymond says, I want Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli together, and Gandalf and Thorin together. And then I think I'm done with Lord of the Rings unless they do Saruman? Is that right? I don't know. Mike says, I didn't get into medicine for a reason. I def don't want to have. Oh, I didn't get into medicine for a reason. I def don't want to have to be surgical with my figures. Well, but that's my thing. That's my thing. It's one thing if you work at InArt or a factory or whatever where you do this all day. It's another thing when you're Joe Average and you don't do intricate things like this. Like, this looked like a nightmare to me. And I just went, I can just imagine people fraying the tip of the strap, people breaking buckles, people damaging things. And that's what I just keep thinking. There's got to be a way where you can have these belts, these straps, all this stuff as one piece that then attaches at the back of the figure securely in a way that's not visible when you're displaying it in a cabinet. There's got to be a better way than whatever this is. InArt is building a secondary market of replacement accessories. Like, I have to wonder, do they're selling replacement parts now, aren't they? And that's what I'm saying. Like, do you get the tweezers? Like, do you get these fine long nose, is that what they're called? Long nose tweezers to do this with? Because I worry that people are just going to use any old random implement they have lying around, and then they're going to damage a very expensive figure. Mike, we pay all that money for InArt figures and then we have to work. I mean, that's my feeling as well. Like, when people were saying they had to attach all the pouches and belts and stuff to the Batman, I was like, nuts to that. I don't want to do that. Raymond says, InArt's premium feel is compromised with the tweezer belt assembly. Don't like them not pre-assembling this. Agreed. And I feel like maybe they're not pre-assembling it because, again, they're worried about damage. When you have the real buckles, like, and I think we've seen this with Hot Toys, like, when you have dude in a suit with a belt and a buckle, that damages over time. Because if you look at the John Wick Chapter 4, they've not done a real belt. The belt is actually fixed at the front, and at the back there's like a little bit of Velcro that attaches. And I looked at that and I went, I really like that, because the belt's not going to get damaged. You have that nice aesthetic that looks like the belt, but it's at the back where no one's going to see it. So I don't understand why InArt is not doing that. Like these Lord of the Rings and Hobbit figures that have all these intricate things, there's a better way than this. And I do think it's have it all as one piece, have everything fixed where it needs to be, have a solid buckle that doesn't move, and then at the back have like some Velcro, a press stud, a magnet, whatever you want to have to do. Problem solved. And then it's easy for the user to assemble. Like, I personally don't think this is a good user experience, having to go through. And this is just 3 screenshots. Like, I was watching them tweeze away, and I just went, that would totally put me off buying this figure if I wanted it. Just, here we go, tweeze through here and tweeze through there and a bit more tweezing here. You forgot about Catwoman. Come on, Helen. I know. Look, I'm going to get my fancy new media assets and I'm going to boo myself, because really, how can I forget a figure that I pre-ordered? There's no excuse, and I'm going to hang my head in shame while I boo myself. So shame on me. Shame on me. But I remembered eventually. AJ said I hadn't thought of pairing Thorin with Gandalf. I'll have to forget about that idea before I get too tempted. Well, you might have to look away from the screen for a couple minutes, AJ, because I did thankfully find some photos of Thorin. So big shout out to Yan on Instagram. I've popped their handle up on the screen in case you want to give them a follow. They seem to get figures quite early and do some very cool posing. So they did post a couple of pictures of this figure, and they posted one with Gandalf, which I thought looked really cool. Like, I thought they looked nice together. I thought that pose was a little bit cool, where Thorin's looking a bit annoyed and Gandalf's a bit like, you listen here, I am a magical wizard man and I know lots of stuff. So yeah, as I said, I think this looks great. I think InArt has, they're producing some nice figures. They are, but I really do feel like that user experience of bits that need to be assembled needs to be rethinked. Mike says, that's a great idea, Helen, about Velcro. Really, they should treat me like I'm in kindergarten. Velcro was a godsend when I was told to tie shoelaces as a kid. Well, I mean, I just think of like what's gonna last over time, and people may not always want that sort of belt thing on him, and if you're taking it on and off and on and off, that's gonna damage with time. And I can even just think, like, God knows, like I really get shocked when people like, I just bought this figure and I busted this wrist peg, or I broke the ankle peg, or it happens a lot. And I'm going, if you're breaking that belt, first and foremost, I really don't see people breaking down and selling parts of InArt figures. But are you going to be able to buy a replacement from them? And how do you not know that's going to meet the same fate personally? Like, I think there's a much more user-friendly and elegant solution than this. I love the new sounds. We've had a glow up. Look at me go. We're getting fancy as we get into 2026. I'm glad people like the sounds. I'm going to try not to abuse them, but on occasion, we're going to drop a few sound effects. Oh, wow, they actually did the pairing. As I said, I really liked that Yan had some nice photos of Thorin. So as I said, I've popped their Instagram handle there. They're their photos, so credit to them. And as I said, they do some really cool figure photography if you want to check them out. What about the rules of filming yourself to preserve the right for customer service with InArt? Yeah, look, I know some people were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I didn't bring it up, but It's interesting. I'm not a fan of this approach personally. I'm probably a bit lucky that I tend to unbox most things I get on a stream, and that would be pretty hard to argue with. But I do feel like it feels a bit like, what am I trying to say? It feels a bit like they're not trusting their customers, but on the flip side, I don't know if they've had experiences that have led them to believe that people are perhaps inventing issues to get spare parts. So I think it's a bit of a catch-22. I do think it's a lot to expect a video. I would have thought, when you take a photo on your phone, like that has metadata, which includes like the date and the time that the photo is taken. I would have hoped that maybe like a photo with the good old piece of paper with your name and the date and the time, which could then be backed up by the metadata of the photo, would be sufficient. Because let's be honest, most people who are sending parcels have tracking, and the tracking will show you when that figure has been delivered. And I think you can say, if, a window, it needs to be within a certain amount of delivery. Because I understand there's some people who get figures and don't open them forever. And I don't think it's realistic to think if you've not opened a figure for 6 months to a year, that you can then go, oh, this is damaged, replace it. So I don't know where this has come from, but it's interesting because when I got my Mojing Toys Osaka Continental diorama, that box had the same thing. Like, we want you to film an unboxing in case there's an issue. I just don't know that is, again, another great customer experience. I would think surely if it's the repeat offenders always coming back, or there's some kind of system where you're like, okay, people are gaming the system for these spare parts, because not everyone has, I think, that kind of time. And then, well, how do you film this video? Like, if you don't have a tripod, you're trying to open the figure with one hand and unbox it while you're holding your phone? And what if they're then like, it's not lit well enough, we can't really tell? Like, I just don't get why a photo with some kind of timestamp isn't sufficient. Because that's what I thought it used to be. Like, a lot of places like Sideshow, it would be, you send them a photo. So I'm really not unsure where this has come from or why they've taken this approach. But I have heard that in some cases they have been charging people for replacement pieces. And I feel like if something's brand new and, people are saying things are breaking, I kind of don't think it's right to then be like, okay, you've now got to pay for this replacement part. Like, if something's not right from the start, like, I don't think anybody's expecting a figure will break in the first few days, unless you're grossly manhandling it, which is a different scenario. So yeah, I don't know where it's come from. I'm not a fan of it personally. I think there's easier ways to manage that. And I would hope that, like, I know Kit kind of said he takes a common sense approach to this stuff and he knows who are trustworthy buyers. And I don't know, is this a symptom of, InArt having limited distribution and having to rely on resellers and resellers of resellers? And then when there are QC issues, how do you kind of validate this? I don't know. As I said, I'm not really a fan of it. Velcro and press studs don't feel premium to me. You're not going to see them, cousin. It would be fine. Mike says, I really hope I don't have to dress my Wonder Woman PO from InArt. I don't want to stress about breaking any part of that suit. Well, I mean, I would hope not either. Mike says, I don't want to have to do an unboxing video for that Wonder Woman. I'll probably end up looking like a sequel to Blair Witch. But that's my thing. Like, not everyone has a tripod or mechanisms. Like, if I was having to hold my phone and unbox a thing, like, that thing's going to be a right mess. You're not going to see half of what you need to see. Windman says, unfortunately, some people can be scammers. It happens, but I'm not sure how making every buyer a videographer is the way to go. I have no better solution. Or I don't understand why a photo with a handwritten timestamp, as I said, you could look at the metadata of the photo and verify that what's on the written timestamp is the same as the phone data. And then you can look at the parcel tracking to go, okay, this customer got this figure on the 19th of December. This photo is from the 19th of December. Yep, that matches up. Or it's within a 7-day window, something. Like, yeah, not everyone is a YouTuber content creator. Raymond says, my InArt Paula Treaties had one of the worm hooks break and got a replacement, no problem, and no extra cost with just a photo proof, but this was before the video guideline. Yeah, I don't know what happened to make them change that. I've got no idea what has caused that. So I'm kind of not as dialed into the InArt group, I'll be honest, because a lot of their announcements haven't been of interest to me. So yeah, I'm not sure what's driven this change to then require these videos. Mike says, look, I'm no business owner, but shouldn't businesses factor in a bit of loss? InArt should have been preparing for things like this. Well, I mean, I would have thought so too. Like, the nature of these collectibles are, you know, if you have a batch of 500 bodies for, let's say, Harry Potter, a percentage of those are going to have a problem. So I would have thought the same thing. There's surely got to be a natural or a small amount where you're like, yep, we know 5%, whatever it is, may be problematic. We have spare parts or we produce extra to cover that. That's what I would have thought. 6-scale Shill says, it's a way to skirt around providing any support at all. Unless it happens in the video, you're on your own. InArt charged me for my Legolas body. Is that £74? Is that the pound symbol? Oh my goodness. That's wild. And not just because everyone has a phone doesn't mean they're a videographer. Like, I've had my channel for a little while. I don't pretend that my videos that I've done of like reviews and things are the best production. So I don't know how they think everyone is just going to be able to work out how to film and upload and get them this footage. Like, I just think it's crazy. AJ says, a photo was just perfect for my recent Sideshow claim on one of my figures. Yeah, I mean, Sideshow's been doing it for years, and that was my understanding, that typically you send them a photo and then they might say, hey, okay, we need you to destroy that. And when you prove you've destroyed that, we will send you a replacement. Like, it's worked for them for how many years? Mike says, if this unboxing video is going to be a thing in the future, I would at least appreciate an example video to show me what they're looking for specifically. Joints, head sculpt installation, so it's filmed correctly. That's a great point, Mike. That is honestly a great point. Like, they should give you guidelines then, like what needs to be in the video. I think that's a great point, 100%. Austin is here. Hello, Helen. It's great to be a part of the live stream. I also got an email from Sideshow saying that the Batman Returns figure is going to be delayed until possibly, January until March. That's crazy. Okay, so then I'm not getting mine before Easter. What a bummer. Shame. Great British pounds. Wow. That is literally £74 would be something like 148 Australian dollars. So you had to pay 148 Australian dollars to get a replacement body. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. £74. Wow, that's heavy. 100% it's heavy. That's crazy. I did a video, but the arm snapped at the bicep a week into ownership. They were not interested in anything I had to say. Pay £74 or go away was the sentiment I got back from them. Oh, that's weak. Did you... I'm just trying to think, because if you're in the UK, I'm guessing that did you have to buy that through a reseller, or were you able to buy it from them direct? Because this has been my thing. Like, I feel very fortunate that they do seem to have distribution to Australia and New Zealand, and that's why I bought the Catwoman from Pop Culture, because in my experience, their customer service has been pretty good. But that's been my thing. Like, if you're going through a reseller, like, is that making it harder to get some recourse when these things happen? Because if I had to pay almost 150 Australian dollars for a body, like, what's so amazing about this body to validate that price? That's insane. Austin's annoyed about the delay for Batman Returns. Yeah, I totally get it. Anthony says, a company asked me for a video once, but it was too big to email. It was a real pain. Well, that's my thing, Anthony, because I think if you look at the spectrum of collector demographics, and I say this, I'm in a workforce where I've got people from their 20s into their 70s, and some people are not familiar with Dropbox or Google Drive. So this whole concept of take the video, get the video off your phone, upload it into the cloud, make sure that video is a shareable link to provide to them. Like, I think the suggestion of them having to provide some kind of guide or framework, I totally agree with that. I think that's a very sound suggestion. Winman says, I have 4 cameras, 3 tripods, and lots of lights, but I have never filmed an unboxing. That is not part of the fun of opening a new figure for me. Much respect to YouTubers who do better in art. Yeah, I don't disagree. And this is my thing. Like, even when I do my unboxing here, it's not a high production value by any sense. Like, and when I have filmed some unboxing and reviews, like, it's a lot. Like, to get the camera right, to get things lit right, is it in focus? Am I showing it well? Like, I don't particularly love doing it. It's not a fun thing to do. I have 2 videos about the InArt customer service on my YouTube channel if anyone is interested. That's fair enough too. That sounds horrible, having to pay all that money for a body. Oh, Mike's watched those videos. Yes, through a reseller, that's another curtain they hide behind. The fact you've got it through a reseller, who cares? It's your product. Stand behind it. The legless body is very cheap also. And this is what gets me, because, like, it's that whole have your cake and eat it too mentality. Like, we want these figures to go worldwide. We don't have distribution, but we're going to make you very aware of them, and we're going to make sure our products get to these companies that can get it to you. But then we kind of absolve ourselves from the responsibility, and, oh, well, you've got to deal with the reseller, because how do we know where you bought it from? And unless you bought it directly from us, we can't help. I don't like that. I don't like that model at all. I'm not a fan. Helen, any tips you can provide for an unboxing would be great. I already know how to throw the box off camera. Where do we go from there? Well, look, I mean, if you know how to throw a box, I think that's the main thing. Just be really thoughtless and have reckless abandon. And I mean, you do you, Mike. Have your own style. Have fun with it. I don't even really remember throwing that box, but I believe you that I did, because it was probably very late at night when I was unboxing a figure, as it tends to be. Austin says, have you seen X-23 and are you getting it? I have seen X-23 and we're going to talk about her very soon, so I won't spoil that. Yeah, we want our product global by any means, but won't help you with your issues because of that. Spot on the money, Helen. Yeah, this is what gets me. And even what annoyed me with InArt was when, with the Paul Atreides, like, they'd been so reliant on places like 1/6 Kit to get their product out worldwide. And then when they've had global distribution, they've screwed over those resellers by going, oh, this little mouse thing, you can only get it if you order through us. Not cool. Not cool. If I was someone like Kit, I would be absolutely ropeable that they do stuff like that. I'm not a fan. Big group, hi Helen. Oh my God, I love your show. I'm not sure if you can really see it now. I'm little, but it's like Homer into the hedges, but it has like Christmas baubles. I found this serendipitously for a Christmas party, which was an ugly Christmas shirt party, but I don't think this is ugly. I think this is the most beautiful Christmas shirt ever, and I adore it. So before I forget, because, I did forget, so apologies, but I'm making it right. InArt did provide an update on the Catwoman figure, which was interesting. So, oh goodness. I'm hoping you guys can see it on the screen. So this is the update from InArt. So they posted to say, you asked, we listened. For those with questions about our Catwoman, here's a closer look at the key details just in time for the holiday seasons. Oh, they think they're Santa Claus. No, don't hover on that. So glove, boots, catsuit, newly developed laminated and waterproof fabric material deliver enhanced screen accuracy, flexibility, and durability. The textures on the suit and the thickness of the material are now much more proportionate to 6 scale than ever before. Support stand will be updated to a black color for improved display aesthetics. Availability varies by region. If InArt is not authorized to sell directly in your city, the product page will say sold out. I don't really understand what newly developed laminated and waterproof fabric material means. Is that some kind of plastic? I don't really know. I am glad that they have changed the color of the support stand. I think that's something that definitely makes sense and will help it blend into the suit a little bit more. But what is this fabric? Like, give it a name. I don't know what this is meant to be and if this is a good thing. Laminated and waterproof. Why does it need to be waterproof? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, I wish they would come out and say it's made of this, which is because if they'd given us a name to the fabric, we could then find out more, like the whole it's medical grade silicone or whatever the other name they came up with. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, I don't understand what this means. Does anybody know what this fabric is meant to be? I certainly don't know what this fabric is meant to be. Austin says, Helen, have you heard about Jazz Inc. making the kit vehicle? I did. I saw their announcement on social media. Was it yesterday? So I did see that. Toy Collector says, can't wait for that Catwoman. The 1/12 unboxings are looking great too. Yeah, I saw there was some 12th scale unboxings, but I didn't watch them because 12th scale's not my jam. Who cares that it's waterproof? It's not a scuba, Steve. No idea why they use silver stands on any of these figures. Black is better in 9 out of 10 cases. I agree. Like, I think there's a reason why Hot Toys has just used the black crotch and waist grabbers. Why reinvent the wheel? I'm still trying to understand what this fabric is. As I said, is it some kind of like plastic? Is it a fabric that's coated in something? I don't know. Waterproof fabric, what do they think we're going to do with this figure? I mean, Mike, I don't want to know what some people do with their figures, respectfully. There's some things Helen doesn't need to know. Kate Leeds here. Happy Friday, friends. Love the holiday sweater, Helen. I know. I don't know if people can see it so well now I'm little. It's Homer in the hedges, but he has baubles. I absolutely love it. I got it from a shop here in Australia, so I think it's going to be my go-to Christmas shirt forever and ever and ever. Oh, thank you, Austin. Also, everyone hit the like button for Helen. She deserves it. I appreciate it. We've got about 40 people in the chat. Hopefully, I have around 40 likes. That would be nice. And if you're new, maybe subscribe. Help me get to 4K. Super unnecessary move here too. Anthony says it's probably polyester with a polyurethane laminate. Then say that. Because as I said, I read that and I was like, what does this mean? I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. And why is this better than like the suit on the Hot Toys version? Or how does this compare to what J&D is doing with their Catwoman? I don't know. But they gave us an update. No mention of doing anything to fix that sculpt when you don't have the goggles on, which is a shame because I still feel like that sculpt, something's not right about it when the goggles aren't on. So I would have thought if they were updating the sculpt, they would mention that in this post, but they have not. So I'm guessing the sculpt will not be changed. So it is what it is. Oh, here I am. I'll look, it's the Homer Christmas shirt. He's amazing. It's just all Homers with the baubles. Absolutely love it. It only cost me $20. Can you believe it? What a steal. What an absolute steal. Let's get the News back. J&D. I almost didn't include this. And you're probably like, why, Helen? You like the Dark Knight. Because I had lots of feelings about this when they first showed us images. And I don't know that my feelings have since changed. So what are my feelings? I hear you say, well, I'd love to share them with you. I'm not a fan of a Batman Dark Knight suit that does not articulate. I've got no problem with a Bruce Wayne that is a statue that cannot articulate, but a Batman figure that cannot articulate just doesn't sit well with me, particularly at the price tag J&D's at. And I think it's quite interesting that in essence, all of the Kojun work figures they have released so far have been dude in a suit. When it comes to an actual superhero suit, they basically give us a power pose statue. And I'm not particularly a fan of that, personally. Like, I look at that Armory. The Armory looks nice. Do I think it's in any way more significantly better than the Hot Toys one? I personally don't think so. I think the Hot Toys one is really nice. I have the original one. I've had it for years and I absolutely love it. There's nothing about this one that stands out to me more than that. But also, I need to talk about this Bruce Wayne. Before I talk about the Bruce Wayne, I will talk about the suit. My slides are in a different order. I think the thing that frustrates me even more about this Batman not being posable is that I do think there is really nice detail to the suit. I think the suit looks nice. You can't do anything with that suit. This is what you can do with that suit. You can have him standing there holding the cowl, or you can have him standing there with his arms by his side. How boring. You can't even do much with all those weapons that are in that armory to have them with Bruce. Like, I think if you're going to talk about like Hyper Real and J&D and beyond, like this is not and beyond. Because I tell you what, I can buy a Batman or a Dark Knight statue and it's going to have a much more interesting and dynamic pose than this. It's probably even going to have some swap out hands or head or something to give me options. These are my options. He can hold the cowl or not. And he can have the cowl on his head or not. For the J&D price tag as well. So now we're going to talk about the head sculpt. And I know this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion. I don't like the rooted hair. I don't like this rooted hair. This rooted hair feels very fuzzy, like he's just washed his hair and he's gone out for a meeting and he's forgot to put a little bit of product in it. I really think that the sculpted hair in the middle, to me, aesthetically looks a lot nicer than these two photos either side, which are the rooted hair. And I feel like rooted hair is probably still a divisive topic within the community. I think some people are like, no, it's realistic and it needs to be rooted. Whereas I'm like, I like what I think looks best to me. Whether that's rooted or sculpted, that's not the biggest driver. I don't particularly like this rooted hair. I don't particularly like this sculpt. And it's such a shame because if you think of that Harvey Dent Two-Face, which again, at its essence is dude in a suit, that head sculpt was a 10 out of 10. I think both of those head sculpts, both the just plain Aaron Eckhart and then the Two-Face sculpts, they were incredible. How is that better than the Bruce Wayne? And it's not like I know Aaron Eckhart's hair is probably a little bit longer, but not significantly longer. So why did that hair in the prototype video we saw from Figure Hideout, why does that look better than this? I don't know. I'm keen to know, and it's a shame. I don't think Uncarded Reviews is here because I know he's a big buyer of the J&D. But is it just me? Because I looked at these and I was like, I wasn't overly impressed with the first lot of photos they showed, and I'm not overly impressed with this now. And that's not to say that I think the new Hot Toys Armory sculpt is great. I don't think that similar Bruce Wayne with the Armory in the suit, I don't think that sculpt is particularly great either. I think it's a really sad predicament when I'm looking at so many Bruce Wayne sculpts, and I personally still think the DX19 is the best one I've seen in person in a while. But for the price these guys are selling these figures for, to get a Dark Knight that you can't pose and a Bruce Wayne head sculpt that I think is not that great, I'd be so disappointed if I had this on pre-order. Many comments. 14 Wellington's here. Hiya. Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. 1/6 of the Force. That is such a horrible Bruce Wayne. Well, I'm pretty sure you're a new name to me, so welcome. And yeah, I agree with you. I am not a fan. 6-Scale Shills agrees that Bruce Wayne sculpt is whack. Batman static pose is literally a T-pose. Tiny Art Guys here. Hello to you. Good afternoon, Helen and collectors out there. Good afternoon to you. Lovely to see you in the chat. 14 Wellington says, I didn't see the cowl in the first photo and thought, is the figure trying to get high? Oh, wow. We've got the movie canon as well. Hello, collectors. Hello to you. That face looks so off. Okay, I was worried it was just going to be another Helen hot take, but I feel like I'm not alone. Why don't the J&D figures move? I want posable figures. Well, this is my thing, Anthony. Like, the only figures that articulate are their characters in fabric outfits. So the Joker, the Two-Face, the Bruce Wayne, like the Anne Hathaway Catwoman. And that's what gets me to essentially release this Dark Knight figure. And it has like next to no points of articulation. I'm going, with all due respect, as nice as this looks, I do think the Hot Toys Armory Batman suits have been big improvements on what they've previously released. And I would take those that I can articulate and do whatever I want with, or I can just have it sitting static or sitting in the Armory. I would take that over this all the time. Mike says, I guess I can appreciate the ability to make the suit usable by putting a face in the cowl. But personally, I think it should have just been a static suit for the Armory only. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If it's not posable, I think that probably would have been the better way to do it. Just say it's Bruce Wayne and the Armory and the suit is in there. To try to then match Hot Toys with, oh, but you can make the Armory suit a figure. No, if it doesn't pose, it's a power pose statue. And as I said, I'd have no problem if the Bruce Wayne was a power pose statue. And I say that having gotten the Rises Armory, because that power pose Bruce Wayne, I think was a lot better than I was expecting. I'm still not loving that sculpt, but the body and the pose he's in and the fact that everything is seamless, I really like that. I think I'm open to that concept for other similar figures. But this, I don't think that says a lot for the company that they can't articulate a superhero suit. I don't think it's good. Not new, just changed my name. Oh, okay, fair enough. Always shocked when someone with a Star Warsy name is in this stream. Did you see those pics from the guy who got Deadpool and Wolverine professionally rooted? It looked totally incredible. The Deadpool. You know, I did. I saw is it Tetsu? I think that's the guy Bob's been using lately. Shuri. Little one. Hello. I don't know if you guys can see my little munchkins down there doing her claws. I have seen some of the Wolverines that have been rooted, and they look incredible. It's interesting. There's been quite a few head sculpts that I will concede have improved with rooted hair. I do still think the Wolverine is solid as sculpted hair, but I'm pretty sure it was Tetsu. Oh, and she's off. See, Shuri. Tetsu had some photos of a Wolverine that he had rooted the hair for. It looks really good. Why is Bruce so angry? I don't know. Ask Kojun. Ask Kojun. Seriously, I think the one positive I think I can find in this sculpt, for some reason, when people do like an older Bruce Wayne, they want to have him with the mouth open. So the fact he doesn't have the mouth open like a fish is a win. AJ says, I wouldn't be happy with this, especially at this price point, 100%. Because again, if I'm looking at the Armory, I don't see what's significantly better about that than the Hot Toys one. The suit, I think Hot Toys obviously has the advantage that it can articulate. And neither Bruce Wayne sculpt looks fantastic. So why would you pay all the money they want for this when the Hot Toys one will be a lot cheaper? Oh, sorry, Helen. I didn't mean to say didn't see the cowl in the unmasked photo equals other hands position to highlight the cod piece. I don't know, man. Ask Kojun. Ask Kojun. He's coming up with all these great things. Question, Helen, any word from Jazz Inc. on your Catwoman figure? No. I think they posted a photo in their group of what is said to be the final fabric for the suit, but there's not been a lot of updates. They have more been announcing other stuff, and I think I and a lot of other people would love to see more updates on the Catwoman, because in theory, the release is meant to be Q1 2026. Whether that gets pushed out, I don't know, but I'd love to see some of the head sculpts, a head sculpt. That would be nice. Some of the accessories. We've not seen a lot as yet of the old Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. It's enough about J&D and that whatever that was. Bruce Wayne, I don't think so. X-23 came out. I was really pleasantly surprised to see this one. And personally, as I say in the stream title, is this going to be a sleeper hit? I feel like it has the potential to be a sleeper hit. I feel like when this was first announced, that there was a little bit of mixed reactions. People didn't seem to love it. I do feel like maybe there's been some improvements to the sculpt. But I do wonder, don't at me, I do feel like a lot of these female figures don't always have the highest pre-order numbers. I do feel like there's going to be people hoping that she has her sort of comic book suit later on. So I do feel like there might be some people who went, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on the old X-23. So I'm not sure how big the production numbers are, but I'm like, could this potentially be a little bit of a She-Hulk scenario where people didn't pre-order, And now they're looking at it and going, oh, this is cool. Because particularly when you see the photos of X-23 with Wolverine, which I'll show you a little bit later, they look awesome together. They really look fantastic together. So X-23 released in Hong Kong. As I said, I really like this head sculpt. I like the hair. I like both of the hair pieces. So you've got the more natural looking hair, and then you've got a bit of the windswept, more action hair. I love that she's got the glasses. It's so cool. Like, there's so many different looks you can have for X-23 with this figure, which, as I said, I feel like it's one of those things that maybe with time is going to make this a little bit of a sleeper hit of a figure to people. So as I said, I think this head sculpt looks really nice. For me, I think it's got a really good likeness. I know exactly who this is. And I do love the swap out hair. I think that's fantastic. You can see we've got the seamless arms. They look like they're silicone. That's cool. A lot of things to like about this figure, I think, personally. And I do think the upside of her outfit, even though it's not a superhero suit, is that these clothes being just civilian fabric clothes, she's going to be posable. Like, I really liked these blogger photos that showed a lot of the different dynamic poses you can get with her. She's got some really cool accessories. She's got the Juggernaut helmet. As I mentioned, she's got her sunglasses. She's got the backpack. She comes with a diorama display base. I think this is really cool. I personally didn't pre-order this because I'm not getting figures from the Deadpool and Wolverine line. But I'm not going to lie, when I saw the photos of her and Wolverine together, because I have had moments of weakness where I'm like, should I get the Wolverine? Shouldn't I get the Wolverine? When I saw them together, it was like, oh my God, this could be a cool display of the two of them. But I'm trying to not give in to FOMO. I'm trying not to. But I just think this is such a good figure. Like, the Deadpool and Wolverine line has had some really good figures. Good morning, Helen. Eric here. Been looking forward to pairing X-23 with the Deluxe Wolverine. Turned out great. It turned out fantastic. 14 Wellington says, I'm super excited to get my Laura Kinney / X-23. Yeah, I would be excited. If I have this on pre-order, I would be totally excited. Question, Helen. I've been hearing people in the community say that InArt versus Hot Toys. Who do you think is better, or is it hit and miss between both companies? Look, God, some people are really putting InArt on a pedestal. And I'm not going to say InArt hasn't been producing some nice figures. They have. They've produced some nice figures. Has InArt produced 2,000 figures? And how many vehicles? No. Have they been around for 25 years? No. I think people are very quick to want to say, you know, Hot Toys was the king and the king is dead and it's InArt and it's J&D. And I just don't understand some of the blind brand loyalty. I don't. I think the reality is Hot Toys has produced some fantastic figures. InArt has produced some fantastic figures. Maybe J&D will produce some fantastic figures. I don't get why people have to pick a brand and a side. And I know there's the unofficially official influencer batch, not influencer batch. And I think some of that crew are a bit prone to pushing, you know, InArt is better and InArt is goated and InArt is whatever. InArt's not producing 80 figures in a year. For me, they're very niche and boutique. I'm not getting a whole Dark Knight line from InArt. Like, I might get a couple of nice figures from InArt, and that's fantastic. But I don't understand why people get so... Like, I even had people make comments on, like, my store tours of, like, the Hot Toys stores in Hong Kong of, oh, it's a shame, you know, InArt or J&D didn't have that license because they do so much better than Hot Toys garbage. I'm like, how do you know that? because everybody was saying InArt Joker is the best, and then Hot Toys did a Joker, and people were naming that figure of the year, and people were naming Bane figure of the year. And InArt had released a bunch of things last year, but a lot of these people who were trying to say InArt is the best were still picking Hot Toys figures as their figure of the year. So I'm all for competition in the market. I personally would prefer that some of these companies did different IPs instead of just competing with each other. Like, so the fact that InArt is doing things like Lord of the Rings, great. If they ever do this Game of Thrones line, awesome. Do I need Hot Toys and InArt and J&D to make the same Batman or the same Superman? Not really. Not really. And I do feel like there's so many IPs and holes in lines or collectors' desires that these newer entrants into the 6-scale market could fulfill. I get it. They want to prove themselves up against Hot Toys. That's fine. But for me, I don't think any company is perfect. I feel like everyone has produced some good stuff. People have produced some questionable stuff as well. I just don't get this. It's the same with vehicles. People are, oh, well, if it's not the Jazz Inc. one, it's not good. Okay, dude, I don't understand why people are that way. I'm not like that. If that's people's views, that's cool. For me, if a figure is good, a figure is good. As I said, I can appreciate the J&D Two-Face. I can appreciate, the InArt figures that are, from IPs that don't interest me, but I can look at them and go, that looks like a well-made figure. I can appreciate stuff Hot Toys has made. I don't get why people have to put one product down to talk up another one. This figure is great, but it's suffering from the Anakin bug eyes a bit. I really like this one, but I've just lost interest in the line. I guarantee that's why they didn't complete the team. It's funny, Shills, because I was a bit like that when the movie came out and the hype was high. I didn't pre-order anything because I was like, I want to wait to see how I feel about this, because it was a bit like No Way Home. When I first came out of that movie, it's like, oh my God, I could build this whole display. And then with time, it was like, it was a good movie, but I don't need the whole collection, or that whole collection isn't more important to me than other lines that I'm looking to build. But I think I was having this conversation with Bob, because I was trying to pose the eyes of the Artisan Black Widow, and he did say like the Hot Toys female figures would benefit from a little bit more of an eyelid, and I totally agree with what he's saying. 14 Wellington says the seamless arms on X-23 look good too. Got to be careful with posing them though. Yeah, you do. But some of these poses, and I do appreciate the blogger photos, and I think we'll see this a bit with Iron Spider. I do appreciate the blogger photos that provide what I call the safe but cool poses, which is what I always ask Cousin Anthony when we post things together. I'm like, the brief is safe but cool. And it is possible. It is possible to come up with really cool character poses that won't put too much stress on some of these figures. AJ says, this is another super tempting figure to me. I'm doing better with saying no recently, though. AJ, that deserves a round of applause, because anyone who is doing well at resisting the FOMO deserves a round. Well done, you, because I'm in that same scenario where I'm trying to not just impulse buy because nothing is coming out for me anytime soon. Mike says, so the more I see X-23, the more I want it. She looks good, but I know I'm feeling the FOMO right now. I'm surprised that even with the moving eye, she still has the deer in the headlights look. As I said, and Bob, I feel like Bob has studied figures and knows all the ins and outs. I think he's right about the eyelid thing, because he was saying to me with the eyes, you kind of want to have them looking up and bring the chin down, and that kind of helps mitigate that bug eye look a little bit with female characters. Bob really should have a YouTube channel. Seriously, he is a very knowledgeable dude. This is a must-have for me. I love X-23. Well, I hope you've got this on PO. And my Wolverine display is going to be packed. Yeah, I mean, we've got the brown suit, the Age of the Apocalypse. We've got the TVA, all the previous figures. It's very cool. Question, when the Avengers Doomsday movie comes out, are you going to be getting those figures? Hopefully we'll get an Okoye. I have no idea. I have to see the movie. I have to know if I like the movie. I am worried it's going to be 1,000 figures from that line. Or 2, who knows? I mean, Okoye in the Dora Milaje outfit is something I want. So if that is made, I'm in. I need her for my A-Force. So I can only hope. I think where it matters, rooted figures, InArt are leagues above Hot Toys. Hot Toys rooting is quite frankly abysmal. God Loki and the new Tom Holland being good examples of that. We'll talk about the Tom Holland. I said that on this stream. I preferred the sculpted hair of the Loki figure. But this has been the hard thing. Like, I sat on the fence about the John Wick Chapter 1 for the longest time because I couldn't make my mind up. Like, I knew I wanted to get 2 figures. And I hedged my bets, and I've got 1 of 1, and I hope I'm 1 and 1, and I hope I'm not going to regret that. Like, I hope the Artisan comes out good. But yeah, there's things Hot Toys need to look at with that Artisan line. I actually have been thinking I might do a little bit of a video about the Artisan line and some of my thoughts about that. Personally, I think Hot Toys is far superior than other companies. I've been rocking with Hot Toys since 2008. Oh, that's quite a while. Check out the photo of Iron Spider versus Blogger. The eyelids were more present in that photo. Or proto. Quite possibly. I don't think I had time to get the promo. I think you mean promo photos. These are the money shots, right? X-23, Wolverine. And I'll be honest, even just standing together, I do think they look cool. I would probably be a little bit worried about having them in too dynamic a pose given the arms, and I'm still not all that trusting of the silicone. But I even think, like, the 2 photos on the edges, just having them standing there, claws out, I do think they look cool. Like, it's so cool to have this combo. I know when Logan came out, people wanted the Laura figure, didn't get her. There was some people kitbashed or third-party company did it. But I think to get her now when she's a little bit older, I do think it's cool. And I do love that she still has the glasses. So, yeah, I think really solid release by Hot Toys. As I said, I really like how this looks. And I do wonder if this is going to be that one that didn't have big PO numbers, but then later on down the line we start, oh, does anybody know where X-23 is available? I didn't pre-order and I'm trying to find her, and can you give me a collector-friendly price? Because that's what happened with She-Hulk. No one wanted her, and she came out amazing, and then everybody was looking for She-Hulk. I still love my She-Hulk. I'm so glad that I've got Matt Murdock to go with her now, though. Mike says, you're spot on, Helen. I mean, look at them paired together. Ash Chase would be losing it right now. Where is Ash? We haven't seen him for a while. But, yeah, I mean, the 2 Wolverines, incredible. This, incredible. I liked the, is it battling? Do they call it battling version of Deadpool? Like, I liked that. Like, this line is really great. And, I think, there's been talk about the rest of the Resistance and will they make them? I don't know. Will we see them later on and they get made from other movies? I'm not sure. I really would have thought we'd get Gambit at some stage. But yeah, it would be a shame to kind of go that far and then just miss out on those 2. And even that third-party Cassandra Nova that came out, that actually didn't look bad. I was really worried. I think there was 2 companies doing it and they didn't look amazing. But I saw some of the photos and it's got that creepy sculpt where her fingers are coming out of Deadpool's face, and whenever I see it, I feel like I feel that in my face, which is an odd thing to say, but it's just such a that actually came out pretty decent, I have to be honest. Calvin's here. Hello, good morning, Helen. Sup, fellas? Good morning to you. Lovely to see you in the chat. As I said, X-23, I think she looks fantastic. And last but not least, Howard decided to end the week with an Artisan release. Question, are you going to get the Supergirl when the movie comes out? 100%. I love Millie Alcock. I thought she looked amazing in the trailer. I loved her at the end of Superman, even that few seconds. Yeah, she's coming home, 100%. 100%. An Australian Supergirl, of course I'm buying it. Artisan, Iron Spider. As I said, pleasantly surprised to get this, but also kind of surprised that we didn't get any pictures of the sculpted version of this figure, which has typically been the way. Normally, when the Artisan figure has a sculpted release, we get a mixed set of blogger photos that has photos of both. But this was very specific to the Artisan figure. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure when we're going to see the sculpted figure, but I think that's probably a comparison that people will be very keen to do, as we often do, comparing the sculpted hair to the rooted hair. What does that look like? But Hot Toy said, not today, guys. You're only going to get Artisan Iron Spider. So let's have a look at him. And I have to say, I've always liked the design of the Iron Spider suit. But as we're going to see, my concern, and I think the concern of a lot of people, is the fabric. Posing this kind of a suit, this kind of a fabric, it is something that still concerns people, and I can completely understand that point of view. To start off with, we'll have a little bit of a look at the head sculpt. This suit has a little bit of a light up feature, which I do think is cool. And look, I'll be honest, and I do say this about myself, I think I generally do like a lot of things. I do like this head sculpt. I mean, time will tell when we get more close-up footage of the hair. Is there issues with it? I feel like I only really saw one God Loki where someone had shown a photo of hair in the glue line. But I looked at this and I liked it. I thought it looked really good. I like that it's a bit of a kind of dirty, I won't say battle damage, it doesn't feel really, really battle damage, but it's not a pristine Tom Holland head sculpt. I like that it's a little bit different. I like it. Come at me if you don't agree. I'm always keen to hear different people's point of views, but I looked at this and my first impression was, I think this looks like a really cool suit. Here's another bit of a different kind of angles looking at the head sculpt. And as I said, I didn't mind the hair. I know some people think Hot Toys can't really do rooted hair, but this to me is quite interesting because the Artisan hair does tend to be longer hair. So I do think it's interesting to see how it looks on a shorter hairdo like this. I think this looks a lot better than the Bruce Wayne hair on the J&D figure, personally. And what I do like is that I think that unlike a lot of other Artisan figures, I think this one probably benefits when it comes to things like accessories and also some of the features of the suit. So one of the accessories you do get, which you can see on screen, is you get the nano gauntlet. You also get Mjolnir with the sort of spider web effect, which I have to say, like, there were some cool blogger photos using that. You've got a diorama display base. You've got the LED light up function in the suit. And you've got the swap out sculpt. And I know some people might be like, oh, but this is the kind of figure I don't want to use the sculpt with. There's other Iron Spiders you can have. I personally, I like having multiple head sculpts. So the fact you've got that option is really cool. I did like, there was one blogger photo, a couple of blogger photos that had This with the Mark 85 Tony Stark figure. And I thought that looked great together. I thought they really looked nice together. And I guess I wanted to include these photos because, as I said, I know for me, when I look at a fabric suit like this, the fabric of this nature, I do get worried about it's going to crease, it's going to damage, this suit doesn't have longevity. And why I like blogger photos like this is I would call these pretty safe but cool poses. Like the photo on the right, which I think is a Zord photo, it has presence. You've got, I'm going to call it's pincers, right? And the pincers attach magnetically. I think that's so cool that they've moved into having them being magnetic. You don't have to plug things into the suit. He's got a little thing you can magnetically attach to his back, and then you can plug the pincers into there. But you look at that. You can have the pincers doing some of the heavy lifting with movement, and you can have him holding Thanos' gauntlet. I think that looks cool. The photo on the left, again, the suit's not doing a lot, but you've got the pincers in a little bit of a different setup there. But even I think just standing there in a little bit of a hero museum pose, I still think it looks good. So if you are someone like me who worries about the longevity of these suits, I do think these are some pretty good examples of poses that you can roll with that will mean you're less likely to damage the suit. If you are a bit more adventurous, though, this can do some cool stuff. How the suit's going to hold up after this, I have no idea. But this looks cool. Like it does. As I said, I don't know what the answer is to the wrinkling. I don't think there is one. I think if you don't want jointed figures, I think this is what happens. So I think it's up to everyone to decide how they want to collect, if they just want to pose the heck out of it and whatever happens, happens. If they want to preserve it, that's everyone's individual choice. But for me, these poses, like, they just look cool. They really do. And I was talking to cousin Anthony and I was a bit like, I was almost enabling myself about this because I do really like the Iron Spider design. I think it's really cool. Let me catch up on the comments because there's quite a few. Mike says, so I'm not a huge fan of this suit, but Tom did get a lot of miles, no pun intended, out of this suit. This is a pass for me. I mean, that it is, right? It's a suit that's made a couple of appearances, which we can't always say. And I was probably surprised that this got revisited with an endgame skew, just like Wanda. Like, I never thought we'd get that look for Wanda again. And then they surprised us with an endgame version. So, like, I'm personally not mad about either of them. But as I said, I was always interested in this one to see what that shorter rooted hair would look like. And I am very keen when we do get some photos of the sculpted to put them side by side to see how they may or may not differ. Excuse me. That's an Anthony figure posing channel. I love this Iron Spider, and to be honest, with the head sculpt, the light up, and the tentacles, I don't feel this figure needs too much posing. Or I agree. I agree, Anthony, and that's why I wanted to include these photos because a lot of the critique is, oh, this suit's going to damage, it's going to rip. Like, you don't have to do things to stress the suit out to still have it looking really cool and really interesting. Like that photo from Zord on the right, you could have him like that standing on the rock diorama base, and I think that would be a cool display. I really do. I don't know that I have any photos of the display base. That's bad of me. I apologize. Whoever posed this in these blogger pics knocked it out of the park. I just wish Hot Toys could make the suit material more posing friendly. I can understand that. Patrick, is it Tomeo? Did a lot of these pics, Mike. Yeah, Zord's doing blogger photos now. He's always been really interesting with the posing. He did have quite a few photos that incorporated other figures and accessories from other characters. But I didn't include them in these photos because I did kind of want to more focus on the Iron Spider itself. But if you do want to see more of those Hot Toys, had quite a big album of photos for this release. And then also Patrick Izzord Photography, I think it is, on Instagram if you want to check him out. And I think he has a YouTube channel as well. Mike's appreciating the heads up. I think Cousin Anthony, don't you have some like Spider-Man posing videos on your channel? I feel like you might. But in addition to Anthony's channel, he also has the group 6 Scale Posers. And I really like that group because the emphasis is on photos that show poses. It's not, I'm trying to buy, I'm trying to sell, here's my YouTube video, here's the photo of my box, here's the photo of my email from Sideshow saying my thing's been delayed. And I really like that group, and quite often I will go in there and use the search function and look up, try to find inspiration for figures that I'm looking to repose. So if you're not in 6 Scale Poses, that might be a group you might want to check out, because as I said, I always say that Facebook search is your friend, and in a group like that you will often find some really nice photos that will just give you an idea of a pose that you might want to do with your figure. So I would do that. But also, as I said, Anthony's channel, I'm pretty sure Anthony's done some Spider-Man content on his channel. Might be worth giving it a look. My sister, well, hello to you, sir. How are you? Have you just been to the gym? I'm going to assume you've just been at the gym. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. It's almost Saturday for me. My goodness. Oh, is that a posing group on Facebook? I don't have Facebook. It is. It is. Do you have Instagram, Mike? Because otherwise, I mean, like Cousin Anthony's channel, Iron Logan's channel, they have a lot of figure posing content. I'm trying to think what Zord's videos are like. I think like Zord's videos are more unboxings. But like Anthony's channel, figure posing channel, and then John's channel, Iron Logan, have some really cool showcases either by character or IP, which I think are really cool to look back at. Even with Iron Logan, he did a James Bond posing showcase. And even though not a James Bond girl, definitely not a James Bond girl, but I watched that video because I went, I can probably get some ideas for my John Wick figures. And I totally did. I watched that video and there was a number of poses where I went, yep, I could do that with John Wick. I could do that with John Wick. I could do that with John Wick. So even sometimes like similar characters, you can just see that pose and it might just give you an idea as to how you might be able to do something with a figure of yours. Oh, I have no social media. I'm not into it. Not because I'm antisocial. Well, you're on YouTube, right? So maybe, yeah, check out Cousin Anthony's YouTube channel and Iron Logan. That might give you some inspo, as the kids say. Chris Collectibles is here. Hello. Can't wait to get Iron Spider. Did not expect to even see blogger photos of this figure until next year, just because of recent delays with other Hot Toys figures. Yeah, I was the same. I had to look up what the release schedule was for this. But it was a Q3, Q4 release, so they've got that out in time, which is great. And I think earlier in the stream, we were kind of saying that when Hot Toys did their 2025 wrapped post, we kind of all thought, okay, is there no more releases this year? Is that it? So I was very pleasantly surprised to see that this released in Hong Kong. So I'm pretty sure we'll start getting some in-hand footage really soon. I think it was Azuki Toys on Instagram posted some video footage of the Iron Spider, including some close-ups of the head sculpt. As I said, I think it looks nice. I know people have mixed views on the rooted hair, but I thought it looked really nice. And as I said, like, it just has a whole ton of accessories. Like, I do like this diorama display base. I think it's simple, but effective. It's not going to take up a huge amount of space in your display, but you can make it work with you. It's got the usual sort of web effects, and then you've got some swap out eyes with different colors. So I think the red eyes are called, like, is it death mode or something? And then I think there's some eyes of the different shapes, and then maybe there was another different color set of eyes. But as I said, you've got the gauntlet, you've got Mjolnir with the sort of web effect on it. And this is my thing, like, having gotten the Artisan Black Widow, I did open that, and I got the special edition one, which had the Iron Man sort of arm. I was like, if you didn't get the special edition, there's really not a lot of accessories. So the fact this guy comes with, I think, some pretty big accessories, but also the magnetic pincers, I think, is another feature, which is great because, again, those pincers and attaching them to the suit would be another point of contention for people. Oh, this suit's not going to last, but having that as magnetic, I do think is really cool. Where am I up to? Oh, literally doing cardio at the moment, but almost finished. Well, you know what? You're going to the gym. I think round of applause. Lord knows I'm not going to the gym. So, brother, this is for you. Welcome. Because this time of the year, when we're going to the festive season with all the food, that's the time to be going to the gym. I'm not going to the gym. This shirt's not going to fit at some stage because I'm just going to keep eating. A question, any new figures you have coming to you before Christmas time? I don't think so, Austin. Most of my pre-orders are for things that are not released as yet. The only thing that I have on pre-order that's released is Batman Returns, which is delayed. Unless So Toys wants to release one of their figures I've got pre-ordered that are overdue. I don't think I'm getting anything. It is what it is. I'm just trying to stop myself from FOMO buying stuff that I don't really want. But because I haven't gotten anything lately, I then get that itchy buying finger wanting to buy figures. Helen, speaking of Iron Logan, I watched his collection to a video. I was surprised how many figures you gave him. I did give John some figures. I didn't realize he mentioned that. I haven't watched his collection room tour yet because I wanted to watch it on my TV, on my big screen. And I know he's been working on that collection tour for a while. So I wanted to be able to really enjoy it on my TV and set the time aside to watch it. So I'll probably watch it on the weekend. But I had some figures. Like, John's also bought some figures from me. Sure, he's back. I had certain figures that I was like, I don't have the strength or the patience to try to sell these. And when John came over, I think it was to buy the Days of Future Past Wolverine, it might have been. No, he came to pick up the things I bought from him from Hong Kong because I made a comment in my stream about what's going to happen. Am I going to make a second trip to Hong Kong, or is John going to come pick up this stuff I bought for him? And often told him. And then John was like, I'll come over and get that stuff. And because he was here, I said, look, I've got stuff. I don't want it. I can't be bothered listing it. If you think you could use this or it's of interest to you, please take it. And he was like, can I pay you for them? Can I buy them for you? I'm like, honestly, like, just take them. Just take them. You are actually doing me a favor. So no, I did. So yeah, I'm going to have to watch because, he gave me a couple of shout outs. Okay, I'm going to have to watch this. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm going to watch it on the weekend. But as I said, because it's an hour and a half, and I know he put so much effort into it, and his displays are really cool. And I do, when I watch collection tours, I want to be focused because I do try to steal poses from other people's collection tours because I think that's a compliment. I can't wait to watch it now. Clutching my pearls, ready for you to announce you've never seen a Bond movie. Well, Anthony, I have seen a Bond movie. Emphasis on A, one. Which one did I see, Shuri? I saw the Bond movie that was with Pierce Brosnan and Terry Hatcher. I don't know what it was called, Bubby. I don't know. But I saw it at the cinema. Yeah, I know. Practically a movie critic. But no, I did. I saw... What was it called, man? What was it called? Yeah. It was when, like, Terry Hatcher was at the peak of her fame and she was in the movie with Pierce Brosnan. Rapid question response, top 3 figures of the year for 2025. We're going to do that next week, so I'm not going to spoil that. So next week, I'm going to do a bit of a wrap-up where I'm going to talk about my views of figure of the year, and I want you guys to tell me what you think figure of the year was for you. And I'm going to rank all of my... Shuri's got a lot to say. I think she's still on the good gear, if you get what I mean. I wish you guys could hear her. She's like in a cupboard rolling around just telling me how aggrieved she is. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. So yeah, we'll do that wrap up next week. So I don't want to spoil that. I don't want to spoil that. How many figures do you think you have in your collection? I answered this question recently on an Ask Me Anything I did. It's just over 100. I think it's maybe 105, but yeah, it's just over 100. Hey, Helen, yeah, Iron Logo's video is epic, and he gave you such great shout-outs. Tomorrow Never Dies. Oh, thank you. That's what the movie. The only Bond movie titles I could think of were like Casino Royale and is it No Time to Die, which I think are all more recent ones. I was like, oh, I can't remember what this movie was called. But yeah, John's awesome. Like he lives in Perth, maybe like half an hour away from me. And like I have to be honest, like the first time I met John was before I did any of this YouTube stuff. I listed the comic concept Captain America, and he messaged me and was like, cool, like didn't haggle, didn't like, yep, happy to buy it. When can I get it? And it's funny because he rocked up to my house and I said, this feels weird because I've seen you on YouTube and I feel like I know you and you don't know who the hell I am. But we got talking as you do. And he was said to me, he was like, oh, why don't you come on my Posed Up stream? Like, you've got all this knowledge. Look at your display. Like, you know, why aren't you doing YouTube? You've got so much you could share. And I remember being like, oh, I think this guy's just being too nice. But he was like so encouraging of me, like starting a channel, putting out content, has given me tips and advice on like filming videos and stuff like that. So yeah, he's awesome. Like, and this is where like being in YouTube and the different kind of people it's connected me to, like some of the friendships I've gotten out of it, like have just made collecting so much more fun. Like John, cousin Anthony, like they've taught me so much about posing. Joelle was another person who was super encouraging of me, and you know, with Collectors Unite, really helped me build my confidence and that kind of, I could do this. But Costa is amazing. So yeah, I feel really lucky. But John in particular, like, he was very much the first person who was like, you could be doing this. Like, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, oh, maybe I should. So yeah, yeah, he's awesome. And as I said, like, I'm not hugely active in groups, and I just think like some of these like key friendships I've been able to build, like they mean a lot to me. They really do. Everyone's telling me it was Tomorrow Never Dies. Thank you. I will try to remember that, but I can't promise that I will. Oh wow, Helen, 100. I was surprised when I counted my figures and realized I have 34. You know what? Sometimes I go, my original plan was just to have the Dark Knight trilogy collection, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have stuck to that. Yeah, I have a couple of detoffs that you can't see. And I do want to also eventually do a collection tour sooner than later. I can't promise it'll be good as John's, but I yeah, 100 kind of surprised me as well. And I think I've got close to 20 figures on pre-order, which does worry me because some of them will go into existing displays. But all these additional John Wick figures I'm getting, I don't know where they're going to go. I need to work out my space sooner than later. Just finished my gym session, sister. Yeah, talking about Iron Logan. I've known him from his Captain America collections. Fast forward, he gave me a follow on Instagram. Such a great human being he is. He's a lovely guy. He really is. Oh, cousin Anthony. Thanks, cousin. You're welcome. Cousin Anthony is very patient with me, bless him, because the videos on his channel where it's like 20 minutes, it's like 2 hours because he's telling me and I'm like, I don't know, like I'm not doing it right. And I never realized like how many, this might sound stupid, like additional points of articulation there were that I didn't realize in figures. And some of the movements that you can do, I didn't realize so much. So I've learnt so much. And hopefully we'll be posing something together soon, cousin. Austin says, I love the 1/6 community, good or bad, the best mental outlet in the world. You know what? I know for me, I just think make your own space for collecting. And I have to say, like, when I made my Instagram account, I really liked that because I could curate who I wanted to follow, who I conversed with. And that really helped me find people who liked similar figures and IPs to me because sometimes in the groups, no one wants to see your 5-figure Captain Marvel display. Fine, don't. But also if you don't like it, scroll on. Don't comment. Don't bring people down. So, yeah, I have to say, like, Instagram and now YouTube, like, has really connected me with some cool people and it enhances my collecting experience. Our figure posting channel says Iron Logan's collection tour was such a nice ride without feeling a little flex. It was a fun 2 hours of posing, though. Oh, cousin, thank you. We have a lot of social chatter in there as well, but poor Anthony, he'll be like, do this and that. And like, I think I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it. And then I tell cousin Anthony to use his words, but we get there in the end. It's, what do they say about that Thorin figure? Isn't it an unexpected journey or something? Like the figure posing with Helen takes Anthony on many unexpected journeys. Oh, Anthony, fair enough. Just want to say my thoughts have been with Australia this week after Bondi and the incredible bravery of the victims. May love and peace prevail. Yeah, look, I'm not sure how much people have seen of the news in Australia. And I know Anthony is an Aussie, so is probably a little bit more up with that. But yeah, it was a lot. Like, I'm not going to lie. I turned on the TV and it took me a second when I was watching the news to realize that this had happened in Australia. I feel like in Australia, we've been really lucky to not have mass shootings or big acts of violence like this. So it's been a rough week. Like it does, you know, like I think people who are in Australia, like we often talk about like, you know, the Australian way of life and kind of, you know, we see ourselves as a lucky country in a place where people from a lot of different cultures have come, you know, for a better life. Like my dad was very much that kind of a person who came to Australia for a better life. And I think it's a country that is very welcoming. So when things like that happen, it's a lot. And I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about that in this stream, but yeah, absolutely. Like, thoughts are with the victim, thoughts are with people of Sydney. And like some of the acts of bravery are just tremendous. And like I talk about that Australian spirit, like this one guy like tackled one of the gunmen and got shot. And this is the Aussie spirit. Someone started a GoFundMe for this guy. I'm not joking when I say I think it reached like $2 million. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, these events have been few and far between in Australia, and I hope that continues to be the case. But yeah, it's really sad. It's incredibly sad. And yeah, all the news reports and learning about the victims and stuff like that, it's been a lot. But yeah, I hope this doesn't change us, is what I will say. Austin says, I love collecting, reason being I get to express my artistic thoughts and expression. I love it. That's awesome. Posing is a really cool way, and just building displays, absolutely. It's art. I think it's art. Sister, I'm heading back now. Are you going to end the live soon or just started? No, I'm finishing soon. I've been going for 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's now Saturday morning for me. So no, we will be wrapping up soon. Laura stepped away, but you're back now. Fair enough. Welcome back. Is that all my photos I have for the Iron Spider? It is. So, Two Greek Geeks, it's that time once again. Different day, different time. So, over on the Pop Culture Living Room channel, I'll be doing the Two Greek Geeks stream with Costa. So, if you've not had enough of me, and maybe I'll wear the Christmas shirt again, who knows? So we are going to be streaming at a later time. So it will be Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern in the US, which is 5 p.m. on the West Coast. I'm not sure what that is for everyone else. I'm so sorry. It's 9 a.m. Sunday for me. So a little bit of a different time to what we normally do. We normally do the stream Sunday morning in the US, but we're giving it a go in the evening. If you haven't seen Two Greek Geeks before, we can talk. We talk about things to do with collecting. We talk about things to do with our Greek heritage. If you like snack talk, Costa and I always bring the same Greek food item. So we will start the stream talking about a food item. And the intro has photos of a much younger Helen on a holiday in Greece. So if you want to have a laugh at that, tune in. So as I said, Pop Culture Living Room channel, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern in the US. If you're not subscribed to Costa's channel, he has some amazing content, particularly around the DIY display cases. Costa has built some amazing display cases, like big cases, individual cases. He is incredible with what he does. So even if you don't want to build cases, I think to get display ideas and some inspiration, like he's really got some cool content up on his channel. And hopefully you might join us for Two Greek Geeks. As I said, it's a little bit of a different stream. It's a bit of a mixed conversation that we have, but I feel like it's a fun time on the YouTube. So why not? Look, we can enjoy the Homer shirt a little bit more. What a treat. I'm sure he disappeared at some stage. Don't know where she went, but lol. Oh my God, Costa, did you see? I just was talking about Two Greek Geeks. 8 p.m. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern in the US. I don't know what time that is for everyone else. But as I said to them, come join us over on your channel. I hope they will. We're going to be having kourambiédes, which are a delicious Greek shortbread biscuit. Costa would say they're a cookie, that are very popular at Christmas time. And I'm lucky because my mum made kourambiédes, so I'm really excited because she only really makes them for Christmas and Easter time, so I'm super excited to have them. Your timing is impeccable, my friend. I literally just took the visual off and then you appeared, so that's super cool. great to see you in the chat. So yes, I'm going to wrap up though. But as I said at the start, it is the last stream before Christmas. So I do want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, a happy festive season. I hope it's a good time, a safe time, whatever you're doing, like look after yourself. I know holidays can bring mixed feelings for people. But as I said, I hope people have a great time. I am looking forward to having a little bit of time off work, spending some time with my mum, spending some time with little Shuri. And I will be back next Friday, so I'll keep the stream rolling for what is Boxing Day in Australia. I don't know if many countries know what Boxing Day is. I once told Joao that on Boxing Day in Australia, in each city, we had to nominate a champion that had to box a kangaroo. And he believed me. And he's like, oh, I'd like to box a kangaroo. I'm like, Joao, I'm totally making this up. No one's boxing a kangaroo on Boxing Day. But yeah, I hope everyone has a safe and happy Christmas, or whatever the 25th is or isn't for you. Just a good time. And we'll be back next week. So thank you for coming to hang out with me. Helen, I was just about to say I love the food chat. Oh, awesome. Well, Two Greek Geeks has a lot of food chat, so make sure you check us out. Austin says, I'm leaving. I very much enjoy your live stream each Friday, and everyone hit the like button until next week. Take care. I mean, I would love people to hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't subscribed, maybe consider, because I'm so close to 4,000. I would love to hit 4,000 subs before the end of the year. That would be amazing. Have a great Christmas, Helen. I might have missed it, but is there going to be a stream the day after? 100%. I'm going to rank my figure purchases of 2025, and we're going to do a bit of a figure of the year type of a scenario. And I want audience participation. So everyone's homework is to think about what their figures of the year are. And I'll think of an audience participation question as well, in case it is a quieter week. So I want people to be interacting with me. Yes, to Boxing Day stream. Of course I'm doing a Boxing Day stream. Boxing Day, Christmas is literally going to be 40 degrees Celsius. I'm not leaving my house. So I'm going to stream because my house is going to be air conditioned and cool. I'm not going out anywhere. I will 100% stream. I always look forward to your live every Friday, chatting with you guys as well. Such a fun time. Thank you. That's so kind. People give such lovely feedback. See you on Two Greek Geeks. See you there, 14 Wellington. Thank you for joining us in the future. JB says, Merry Christmas, Helen, and chat. Merry Christmas to you. Oh, Cousin Anthony, hashtag sleep for Helen, hashtag happy weekend, hashtag happy holidays, 100%. Yeah, Helen definitely needs some sleep. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Helen and collectors. Love the live stream. Thank you, guys. Seriously, I've probably mentioned a couple of times that I have not loved 2025, and there was definitely times at the start of the year where it was hard to come on and stream, but every time I did, the support and the energy and just all the interaction I got from you guys always made it such a positive thing that regardless of how bad things were, this has always just been such a highlight for me. And I appreciate all that I've had. The people who watch live, the people who watch on the replay. I'm still kind of stunned at how many people tune in to watch random Australian woman and her tabby cat running around talk on the internet. But I feel like we do have such a cool group of people that come here and chat and interact. And I appreciate it. People that give me their time to watch or comment and share their views. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. A stream on my own with no participation, that's nothing. So you guys make this stream what it is, honestly, you do. That's so kind. Sending my regards to your family, sister. Merry Christmas from Ermin. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Love from the UK. And can we remember in our prayers this Christmas the victims of the Bondi Beach massacre? Yeah, 100%, Brian. We talked about that a little bit before. I wasn't sure how aware people were of that. Yeah, it's horrible. And I mean, you know, as I said, we've been a bit lucky in Australia that those things don't happen here a lot. So I'm hoping it doesn't change things. But yeah, the stories and the people that have come out, it is heartbreaking. It really is. So I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to be in that situation. And you know, there was a 10-year-old girl who lost her life, and even hearing her story of her parents being immigrants from the Ukraine and them being so happy to be in Australia that they went, we're going to give our daughter the most Australian name we can think of. We're going to name her Matilda, 10 years old. And she's lost her life through this absolute disgusting acts of a couple of people. So yeah. What do you say? Like, these things, I just don't understand why some people feel the need to do these things. It perplexes me. I know Shuri, she's voicing her displeasure as well. But yeah, absolutely thoughts with the people of Bondi. Bit of a somber note to end on. So it feels weird to go Merry Christmas. I hope people have, as I said, nice Christmas. I know holiday seasons can be ups and downs for people, but be safe. Oh God, she's off and racing. I will be back next week on Boxing Day. Hope to see you then. And if you can join us for Two Greek Geeks, that will be on the Pop Culture Living Room channel, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern in the US, 9 a.m. In my time zone on Sunday morning, which I don't think helps any of you, but that's where I live and that's what the time is. Anyway, I'm rambling now, guys. Don't forget the cinnamon buns. Never forget the cinnamon buns. That is an amazing topic to end on. And Ermin, you need to try the toasted cinnamon buns. They are amazing. 'Tis the season to eat some lovely food. And on that note, I'm going to stop rambling. Is it Boxing Day or possibly Unboxing Day? I mean, Boxing Day is like Australian Black Friday is the best way I can describe it. It's the big sales event of the year. She's back. Oh my God, what's gotten into you, child? You can see her magnificent tail. Look at it. Shuri is full of beans. My goodness. What is going on? So if Pop Culture is going to do a sale, it may well be on Boxing Day. Because as I said, it's the best way I can describe it is it's like the Black Friday in Australia. So it could be Unboxing Day for some, not for me, sadly. Oh, mince pies. No, I don't like mince pies. I'm going to go back to the cinnamon buns. This Christmas, make it all about cinnamon buns. Guys, thank you again for joining me. I will see you next week, Boxing Day stream. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely Christmas. And I will see you again soon. Peace out.